Tell me if this sounds familiar. You're planning for your home purchase here in the Dallas area. So you went online, typed in your budget, and like 2,000 homes popped up on your computer screen. From Frisco, Plano, Prosper, Forney, Argyle, Midlothian, and you're thinking, I have no idea what location to start in. So if that's you, I am so glad you found this video because we are taking a deep dive into the top 5 suburbs here in Dallas. I'm going to be talking about pros and cons, school ratings, what kind of homes you'll find, commute times, area development, why people do or don't want to live there, and really, I'm going to give you enough market information so that you can get some clarity on your home search right now. A Dallas area realtor, and my husband Tim and I have been helping people just like you buy and sell homes here in the Dallas area since 2015. So feel free to subscribe to our channel, and if you would like us to help you find a home here in Dallas, feel free to give us a call, text, or email. Prosper is one of the most sought after locations in all of Dallas. When you look at the map, you might be like, why? It's 30 miles north of downtown Dallas. You have this expensive Dallas North Tollway to commute, so you think, oh, it must just be super affordable. Then you check the home prices and you find out, oh, definitely not. It's way more expensive up here. The average home price here is a whopping $945,000, and at the time we made this video, there were only 22 homes for sale that were listed under $500,000. So what is it about Prosper that so many people are attracted to? For starters, you need to understand that Frisco is becoming the new Dallas, the new center of activity. You have so many corporations headquartered right here. So as this is starting to happen, you know, a couple decades ago, you have a place like Prosper, which was nothing more than a farming community, but had all of this available land for building. Fast forward to today, now you have these absolutely stunning, luxurious master plan communities going up here. You have a school system that is not only A-rated, but really putting out some of the more state-of-the-art facilities, and you have a lot of major developments happening just outside of Prosper, like the Fields Project, Universal Studios, the PGA District, and this little strip of land here is becoming one of the most desirable places to live in Dallas, at least for those that can afford it. Take a look at how home prices have changed over the past 5 years here. Now, part of the reason I think Prosper's pricing is remaining so high compared to the surrounding suburbs is kind of predicting what this area is going to look like 5 to 10 years from now, once a lot of these developments have been completed. You can check out this video we made, which goes into more detail. So, if you're considering Prosper, realistically, you're going to want to have a budget of $500,000 or more. You can find some under $500,000 from time to time. Sometimes these are condos or townhomes, but the 500s and 600s are what many would consider to be a starter home option here in Prosper. If you look at a breakdown of home prices in Prosper, you'll see a lot that are built in the 800s, 900s, and 1 million range. You're going to have a lot of luxury home builders here in these communities. Windsong Ranch is the most famous. They have this amazing 5-acre lagoon, tons of amenities, but there are so many great communities up here and some that offer some pretty amazing views, again, at least for those that are able to pay well over $1 million. Now here's one that you may have initially overlooked. Flower Mound is located about 25 miles northwest of Dallas. This is a pretty well-established community. There's not a ton of new construction here. Your average Flower Mound home was built sometime in the 1980s through the early 2000s. So you'll see a lot of mature trees, a lot of really great walkable neighborhoods. Schools in Flower Mound are very highly rated. They're actually a part of Louisville ISD. Louisville is just east of Flower Mound. There are some pros and cons of this location. You are nestled right between 2 lakes, Lake Grapevine and Lake Louisville, so that gives you access to some really nice parks and trails. You're just north of the DFW airport. If there's one downside to this location, it's that the deeper you go into Flower Mound, the harder it is to access highways since you don't have any highways that cut through the city. Also, if you're someone who's looking for a great nightlife scene, you're not going to find that here. Flower Mound has some nice shopping and dining centers like Lakeside and the Riverwalk, the beautiful Bridalwood Country Club, and overall there is a general small town feel here. For pricing, while you can sometimes find a home under $400,000, your starter homes here are going to most likely be in the $400,000s, while the bulk of your homes are going to fall between the $500,000s and the $700,000s. If you're looking in the $1 million and up range, then there are some really breathtaking communities in the southern part of Flower Mound that borders Lake Grapevine. The nice thing about homes in Flower Mound is that your money goes quite a bit further here than, well, most of the other suburbs on this list that we're talking about here today. The downside is that if you're looking for a newer home, it's definitely harder to find that here unless you go into the far west part of Flower Mound. There's a couple of new communities out there, but your commute times there are definitely on the long end, and there's very little in terms of grocery stores, shopping, and dining out there. McKinney is and has been one of my favorite places here in Dallas. There's very little not to like about McKinney. This is a well-established suburb of over 200,000 people. It's got a great location bordering Frisco, Plano, Allen, even parts of Prosper. It has great highway access with the Sam Rayburn Tollway and I-75. It's got one of, if not the best, historic downtown districts in all of Dallas, and has some world-class golf courses like the TPC Craig Ranch, the Dye Course, and Hills Course at Stonebridge Ranch. Similar to Flower Mound, your typical home in McKinney was probably built sometime in between the 1990s and early 2000s. This is when this area really started booming. If you want to understand how McKinney feels compared to the surrounding suburbs, just open up Google Maps. Look at Frisco. You've got mostly straight north, south, east, west roads. Move over to McKinney, and what happens? All of a sudden, you get winding streets, a lot more green areas, but it's not rural. There's just a lot going on here, just interlaced with some more beautiful scenery. Another thing to love about McKinney compared to a place like Prosper is that your homes are going to be more affordable. You're going to see a fair number of listings in the 300s to 800s, and your money is going to go quite a bit further than in a lot of these other top suburbs. We've also made a couple videos recently that go into a lot more detail of what kind of homes you can find in McKinney. The one thing I'll mention in this video is that there is a pretty big difference between North and South McKinney. South McKinney homes are going to fall into this category of traditional Texas homes in the 90s and 2000s. Your area up north of US 380 was fairly underdeveloped until recently, so you're going to find some new construction communities up here like Trinity Falls, and some parts up here will feel a little bit more remote. Lastly, your schools in McKinney are very highly rated. They don't get the recognition like some of your other districts around Dallas do. They are still rated in the top 5% of school districts in the whole state of Texas. All right. Plano is one of your most highly desired established suburbs here in Dallas. It's big with over 294,000 people. It is also home to a lot of major corporations. And for a long time, Plano was the top suburb in Dallas. This is why the majority of your homes in Plano were built in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. These were the glory years for Plano. Kind of like the Dallas Cowboys, actually. Because Dallas hadn't grown yet to the size that it is now. Let's talk about your location. Plano has great highway access with the Dallas North Tollway and I-75 taking you south to Dallas, and the President George Bush Turnpike and the Sam Rayburn Tollway running east to west. Speaking of east and west, you should know that most people here really think of Plano in terms of East Plano and West Plano. Home prices in West Plano are going to be a lot higher than in East Plano. West Plano is so centralized into the DFW Metroplex, and this area around Preston Road and the Dallas North Tollway has some of the best neighborhoods, the best retail and entertainment like the shops at Legacy and Legacy West. Plano ISD, just like the other suburbs on this list, has very highly rated schools. Plano is one of the suburbs here that differentiates between high schools and senior high schools, so don't let that confuse you. Another benefit to Plano compared to the other suburbs on this list is that there actually is public transportation available, with several DART stations throughout the city. Can you find new construction here in Plano? No, just about everything here is built out. There are a couple of townhouse developments that are still getting built, and occasionally you'll see something listed that is a couple years old. There is a really nice new development that was completed a couple years ago near the shops at Legacy West if you're looking into the $1 million range. These are modern, low-maintenance, 3-story single-family homes, but like I said earlier, you're most likely looking at homes from the 70s through the 90s that were built here in Plano. Okay, it should come at no surprise that Frisco, Texas is on this list. Frisco is consistently ranked as one of the most desirable areas to live in the country. In many ways, Frisco is to Plano what Plano used to be to Dallas. Frisco is a place where corporations from all over America are establishing their headquarters here, and where all the high-end luxury homes are being built. Now, up until a few years ago, the south part of Frisco was very well developed, but the north part was fairly open. This is all changing. This area up here is getting filled with some of the best new developments in the Dallas Metroplex, like the Fields Project, the growing PGA District, and the Universal Studios theme park. Frisco really loves their mixed-use developments, where you have retail, dining, multifamily, single family, parks, dog parks, food trucks, all within one development. And there are several more of these in the works for the coming years. You do have a historic downtown district here that is getting a makeover soon, which already has coffee shops, dining, and adorable farmers market. You've got FC Dallas that plays here, tons and tons of shopping and dining. You are never really going to run out of things to do here, and even if you did, Frisco is great for commuting. You have the Dallas North Tollway that runs straight through Frisco, and you can take it to the heart of Dallas in a half hour. You're also nearby Lake Louisville, and there's some nice parks over here on the east side of the lake. Frisco ISD is huge and among the best in Dallas. They have an A+ rating and are ranked 12th out of 883 Texas school districts. Now, a lot of people associate Frisco with your high-end, million-dollar neighborhoods. And yes, we do have a lot of that here. But you also have a fair number of homes available in the 400,000s all the way up to the 900,000s. Now, there's something to keep in mind about this. If you're going onto Instagram and seeing homes in Frisco, they're probably showing you the million-dollar homes. If you look at a typical $450,000 home in Frisco, it's probably around 20 to 30 years old, a 3-bed, 2.5 bath, around 1,900 square feet, and is going to need a few cosmetic updates. If I had to sum up why people put Frisco near the top of their list, this just feels like a place where there's a lot happening, a lot of growth and development. This is not small town Texas. So if you like the small town feel, I'd look somewhere else. All right, well, these are my top 5 suburbs here in Dallas. There were a lot that didn't make this list, but that doesn't mean that those aren't also great places to live. We are going to keep making videos about some of the best places to live in Dallas. So be sure to subscribe to our channel, and if you'd like us to help you find a home here in Dallas, feel free to give us a call, text, or email. We'll see you next time.